Hey everyone, we are back after a fairly long time without a Malts and Meeples. It has just been busy, crazy time, and I've been trying to figure out what I want to stream next. I started Dresden Files. I think that's going to be one that I hop back to from time to time. But I thought it'd be fun to do something else today as we hop into Malts and Meeples unboxing of Zombicide Green Horde, which we have hidden behind a few other things. So I am Petter, and yeah, I run this channel as well as the Nerdologist.com website and the 10-Minute Marvel podcast. So if you're interested in a whole lot of board game and RPG content, check out Nerdologist.com. Excuse me. Or, if you are interested in Marvel stuff, check out 10-Minute Marvel. That's on iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and Stitcher. So all over the place. But let's get to jumping into this unboxing here. And I think I might try and play a scenario of Zombicide Green Horde on the stream coming up here probably next week. So, before we get into that, let's take a look at what we have here. So we have Founders Porter, Dark, Rich, and Sexy. So this has a good amount of IBU to it, so it's not too sweet for a porter. Fairly often they can be too sweet for what I'm looking for, but this is pretty nice. It's definitely a darker beer, which works well here in Minnesota, where you kind of match your beers to seasons, since winter's coming. Yay, winter. So I'm just keeping an eye on a couple of stats for the stream. We have dropped under 1% of frames, so that's a good thing. So I never had any plans to actually get into Zombicide, and I don't know that I'll actually purchase more or purchase any, really. So this copy of the game, Zombicide Green Horde, I won from an anniversary sale at a local game store, All Systems Go, out of Northeast Minneapolis. I have sold board games there as well as a lot of my Magic cards, and so I had a whole bunch of store credit. They finally got in a copy of Blood Rage, which was a game that I had wanted, and so I went to pick it up at their 1-year anniversary. If you spent more than $50, then you got entered into a drawing for 5 different games. Turns out I was one of the people who won one of the games, and I was the 4th person drawn out of the hat or whatever they were using to pick who won. And yeah, I had the choice of 2 different games, the Anniversary Edition of Pandemic or Zombicide Green Horde. Excuse me. Oof. For some reason, yeah. So Zombicide Green Horde was my choice simply because I already have Pandemic. If you watched on the YouTube channel, which this video will be going up on as well, you can see that I've played through Pandemic Legacy Season 1 there, so I clearly already know and am familiar with Pandemic, and even though the medical tin is cool looking, I don't really need a different version of Pandemic, so I went with Green Horde. And that's what we're going to be unboxing. I just picked it up today. I have not read through the rules. I'm familiar with the game, so I'll try and give a really brief rundown of the game and how it works. this should be interesting. So in Zombicide Green Horde, it is a standalone expansion for Zombicide Black Plague. I think it probably constitutes as its own game, more so than a standalone expansion. But it's a situation where they definitely do combine, and I suspect a lot of people, the majority of people probably have both if they have Green Horde. In this game you take on the role of a fantasy character, and it's kind of I think a little bit more of a grim fantasy feel, where you have, instead of that really high magic or that really heroic, you are just a band that is trying to survive against the horde that is coming at you, against the zombies that are coming at you. And I believe with Green Horde, one of the mechanics or things that it adds is that while you're dealing with the normal zombies, or the orc zombies in this case, there are also orcs building up until eventually they really are going to hit hard. Oof. And now I have hiccups. Yeah, this Founder's Porter is quite good. So let's bust into this box. First thing up, we have a very reflective rulebook. This is not a small rulebook. We have a round summary on the back. We have an index and a glossary in back, but 60 pages total. This does include quests, so most likely I would try and do quest 0. Theoretically, might be slightly easier playing it solo. This game is one that you can play solo, so that is great. And in terms of a rulebook, just kind of looking at what it shows here, you can see we have some artwork, but then large examples on the pages. So even though it is 60 pages, the amount of content in here, or the amount of just reading, it's not that high. Most every page is about half a page, or an example here, it's more than that, but we're getting, I think, some lore as well. Yeah, kind of describing the different zombie types. So then we have this box in here, and we will come back and open this box, but you can see the different characters we can play on front. The reason we're coming back is this box is where all the goodies are. I honestly don't know if this is anything more than just packing, but then we have, maybe, just a little stack of cardboard. And I have not opened this yet, so let's see how easily we can do so. Maybe. If we can do so. I want not to be defeated by this. I'm sure I have a pen over here. Do I have a pen? Let me have a pen. Bottle cap. My normal tool of normal way to break into a box, or not a box, but plastic. Let's move the box out of the way. And let's look at what we have here. So tiles, double-sided. full tiles. So it looks like this game probably has a decent sized footprint. And it tells you in the corner here what number they are. Won't spend too much time on these, simply because there are a number of them. So many. But it's cool that there are so many, simply because that means there are a ton of different setups to use for it. This is the last of the big boards. And also, it means that the board won't be too crowded. I'm assuming like each one of these large squares is going to be about 9 squares itself. And then we have different things here. I won't even pretend to know what they all are. I'm assuming that's a barricade of some sort. Maybe that just closes off wall. We have grass. Different color X's. Don't know what those are for. Graves on one side and portals on the other. No clue. Fire, more similar pieces, graves or fire. I think I can figure out what this one is. That's probably the only one I can tell you for sure. So, a lot of cardboard, but mainly pieces, and it's nice thick cardboard. So that's cool. Drop that back into the box. And this is really the box that is of most note. This board box. Well, I guess everything's board box, but this is where all the minis are. Start out not with minis, because I mean, who would want to look at the minis in a game that is heavily full of minis? Instead, we have our characters here. We have a seam, Baron. Maybe it's better up here. Maybe it's better right there. Can't tell. Johannes. Yeah, there's just too much depth to this background. Too much reflection there. Megan. Rolf. And Seely. Yeah. So it looks like it gives us some stats or abilities that we can use with these characters. So that's fun. Yeah, that is cool. It's nice to have them, especially since you also then have stuff like that, the minis, that match up with the people. And I'll spend a little bit more time looking at them as we go along. We also have these character boards. Slots in like that. Don't know what else the other spots are for. We have, I'm assuming, some sort of danger meter slider here. because we go from nice blue all the way to red. I'm assuming this part's probably hit points. This looks like what you have in your hand and what you have in your other hand. Your bag, probably, since that has a bag symbol. And so, I mean, that might be as simple as it is. We have a whole mess of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this game is a 1 to 6 player game. I assume if you're playing one player, you are controlling multiple of these. I showed those first simply so that I could then show off these guys. These guys are going to be the pegs that fit into those boards. So I can kind of... Quick demonstration. I'm sure you understand how pegs work, but this is more for my own entertainment right now. So that fits nicely. That's cool. It's in there firmly, comes out easily enough. I like it. Seems like there's a bit to keep track of, but that's cool. We now also have stands, 6 of them, matching colors as those pegs. So that will just, and again, demonstration purposes, just show off the dice fast. Just normal 6-sided dice. So I do like this about some of the stuff that Cool Mini or Not does. CMON, CMON. Sorry. You can see, base fits on nicely. Base popped off easily. Then we have a whole big ol' stack of cards. Didn't need the pen for that one. Cards are a whole lot easier to get open. Have a little bit more beer. So, I'm actually going to try something different here. Quick. I apologize for the rapid zooming. So this will actually be nicer for showing off the minis anyways, is my hope. Let's see if we can figure out where we're at. So you can see we have stuff like a short sword, starting equipment, 1 die, 1 damage. So I'm guessing, looking at this, I have no idea what that first slot is. Second one is a single die. Third one is what you have to roll. Final one is how much damage it deals. You have to roll a 4 and it causes noise to open a door. No clue. Top part, no clue. No, it's a short sword. Oh, here we go. I can help explain some more. Range. That's the first one. Dice to hit, damage. So I'm assuming that it's one of those things, and you can see this says it's silent, I'm assuming, but it's one of those things where there are probably some bows or something like that. And this one is spiked, so maybe you can use it as melee as well as a bow. That's my guess. Or this one is clearly magical. So pretty similar setup, nothing all that out of the ordinary there, except for, so that is a combat spell, it is noisy. I'm assuming you have a verbal component for it. Let's see if I can find some more interesting ones. Dwarven Hammer. That one is very different. So like, let's see if I can fit both of these on. I might have to zoom out slightly. Bone Sword. Both of them have range of 0. Bone Sword, you're rolling 2. Dwarven Axe, you're rolling 6. Dwarven Axe hits on a 5+. Bone Sword hits on a 3+. Both still each deal 1 damage, though you can see that there are special rules for them. So, one of the minis, actually hold this one up in front of me right now. I'm assuming that's what they're calling the trebuchet, which, okay, that's cool. I didn't notice this before. You can see that part, I figured it would all be sculpted together, but it is sculpted separately. So Scattershot, Grape Shot, and Boulder. You can see with the Boulder, or everything is the same to hit, 4+. Scattershot, you get more dice, so higher chance of hitting, but deals less damage. Boulder deals more damage. And yeah, some other things with that. This is what the back of the cards look like, or at least some of them. Also have that. Yeah, I honestly don't know what most of these are. So I'm assuming you flip some of these with the when you search. So it says place an orc walker in a zone you just searched. There's also apples, discard this card, gain an XP. Chainmail armor. Armor +4. Or, let's see what else we have here. Dragon Bile. Spend an action and discard Dragon Bile from hand. Put a Dragon Bile token within range 0-1 and line of sight. Don't ask me why. I suspect I know from what I know of this game, there are very few ways to get rid of one of the figures, which I'll be showing off here shortly, and so I suspect that's a way to help deal with them. But you can see weapons are a little bit different. Some of them, this you get 3 dice. Some of them look similar, some of them seem different. Healing. Once returned, target survivor recovers 1 wound. It can't be used to resurrect. Lightning Ball. Longbow. Norse Shield. Norse Sword. Plate Armor. Plenty of arrows. You may re-roll ranged attacks once with weapons with arrows keyword. The new result takes the place of the previous one. So I'm assuming you have plenty of arrows, so you're not trying to conserve ammo, so you can just fire more. It's pretty cool. Plenty of arrows. Repulse. Push all zombies from a target zone. Salted meat. Another way to gain XP. Trying to find what's really unique there. Spend an action. Discard the torch from hand and select a Dragon Mile token within range 0 to 1. Resolve a Dragon Fire. I have no idea what Dragon Fires are. Tremor. Whee! Should have just set it as a fixed zoom. Or fixed focus, I should say. So sorry about that. All zombies requiring 1 damage are eliminated. Walker, runner, and wolves, etc. in the target zone are laid down. They spend their next activation getting up. Oh, no, they aren't eliminated. I misread that. We have water to gain experience points. So, assemble the horde. Fatties, walkers, runners, nothing. And so you can see that looks like it matches up with those player boards with the different colors. So I'm assuming as you're in different ranges, different things happen. And probably that plus is counting up so that you're keeping track on the players board themselves. And it probably gives you a combo of these cards to use. I'm not sure because it seems like it might just be random draw, but they are numbered. And there are a lot of them. Orc Necromancer. Bunch of those. So this is what I was talking about. All zombie miniatures contained in the horde spawn in the zone. So whatever zone I think is activated for the zombies entering. Don't spawn more zombies in the building / spawn step ends here. So all of a sudden you can have a horde released. So that's all the different cards in here. Slot those back in, so I apologize if this loses focus. And I'm going to actually zoom back out just a touch and use, what do I want to use? My goodness, it's so blank and boring. so hard to see. But these are what I'm showing off right now. Are different player character figures. By the time I'm done with this, I'll be able to hold these up correctly at the start. So you can see that there are parts of these, they look like they match various characters. Nice detail on them. Different weapons. I already showed this off on the small, but let's go bigger. It's very cool. Like I said, that moves. And then we have our zombies, or orcs, I guess. This is why it's tempting to get Black Plague, is you would get zombies as well. So Green Horde's cool. You have the orcs. That is the biggest of them. From what I know of Black Plague, these big guys are generally, you have to take them out with the Dragon Fire, so the Dragon Bile and a torch. You just start running and searching. Assuming that is an orc necromancer. This guy looks fat, so I'm assuming orc fatty. I'll figure out the different types by the time I'm ready to play. But right now I'm just pulling stuff off of the top layer. I'll do a couple more. And then actually pull out this whole top layer. Because down below we have even more. They're kind of falling out of their areas. So, shouldn't be straightening out now, but just have it. Also, this is all because I held it vertical. But I think most of these are duplicate, additional of the other types. I'll just show off a couple more. So like I said, this is fatty. I probably lost some frames there. Computer was being dumb. But yeah, I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 by 6 there, plus an additional row. So 9 by 7. Huh. On the side of the box, it actually tells you how to put them back in. And I'm just loading the box back up. But, yeah, I will put everything away here in a second, but I just want to thank you all for joining me, watching this video on YouTube later. I will be putting this up right after I stream it. I am enjoying doing these videos, and yeah, it's just fun. I hope that people who are watching them can enjoy them, and like I said, I'll probably do a playthrough of the first scenario by myself here, test it out with you guys and see how this goes. I have not read the rulebook yet, so I'm going to have to do that. I literally just picked this up today after winning it last weekend. So yeah, if you are in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, I would recommend checking out All Systems Go, not just because I won this game from them, but it's a cool little shop, actually really close to a cool restaurant and a, in my opinion, poor brewery. There are a lot of people who like that brewery though, so definitely an area that there's plenty to check out and a lot of different breweries, stuff like that, which is right on brand for Malts and Meeples. This is not a Minnesota brewery. But I will see you probably tomorrow for another Kickstarted. Bottoms up.